with me and Sherry and the dog Harley. And I mentioned Harley because she may make noise during this, and so I just want you to be aware of her. I know some of you said that you don't usually hear her, but Noah Mala, today would be the day where she would decide to make her presence known. So there's your warning. There's a cute little dog laying in the doorway, staring in here, not so little, 60 pounds, 55, 60 pounds, in the doorway, staring at us, and she could make noise. You never know, but she's still cute. So, today is also Halloween, All Hallows Eve. I've always wanted to do something fun in church for Halloween, but I never really did it because I have issues surrounding Halloween and church. So I grew up, most of you know this, I grew up in Tallahassee, and the churches that my family attended were Church of God and Assembly of God churches. And there at one point became this weird thing about how Halloween was bad. Well, we lived way out Highway 20, which back then was country, and we didn't really get to do a whole lot of trick-or-treating kind of stuff anyway, because there really wasn't anybody to go visit. So it wasn't a big deal to us that now suddenly there were some people saying we shouldn't be allowed to dress up, we shouldn't be doing the trick-or-treating. It didn't faze us much. But the kids that lived in areas where they could do all those things, when their people started saying, Halloween's kind of bad, it's kind of like a devil's holiday, those kids were upset. Because, it kind of changed. One year they were trick-or-treating and the next year they weren't. And that happens sometimes because we're humans and people get caught up in things and roll with it, right? So back then, for whatever reason, a couple churches decided Halloween was bad. So I kind of have some history and some issues surrounding Halloween and church, especially when it's like right there together, same day stuff. So I decided I'm just going to throw caution to the wind, and I'm going to do something fun for Halloween. Even though I know many of you go online and watch other MCCs. Okay, you're not going to get this at any other MCC, because at most other MCCs on this day, it will be very solemn and respectful, because it will be all about honoring the dead. It'll be services built around All Saints Day, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just chose to go a different direction, as I am known to do. So, since I want to do something fun, I have on a t-shirt. T-shirt says training, because zombies get the slow ones. So that would imply that I'm actually exercising, so let me just go ahead and tell you, no, I just liked the t-shirt, and it went with today's topic. Yeah, that's right. Today's topic is zombies and vampires. And maybe a little bit of history. Haven't decided yet. So, what is a zombie? Some of you know, because I know you watch all of the same shows that I watch. So some of you, you're with me today. So zombie is the undead. And in current canon, zombies happen because mankind does something stupid. Humankind does something stupid. They either create some radioactive explosion and create zombies, or some kind of virus made in a lab gets out and that creates the zombies. And then what happens once they're created, from whatever reason, whatever they come from, when they're created, the zombies get the slow ones. And when they get you, they bite you. Well, technically, depends on which show you watch. They bite you. If they leave you alone after they bite you, like you get away from them and they don't devour you as their meal for the day, the virus goes from them to you. Christy, this is the weirdest Sunday morning message ever. I agree. Bear with me. So that's a zombie. A zombie bites you and infects you. Keep that in your head. Now, vampires. Vampires are interesting. And these aren't my Twilight vampires that y'all like to pick on me about, that I'm going to talk about. Because, my Twilight people, they're different. We ain't including them. So vampires. What are vampires? Vampires are undead beings who feed on the living. They literally drink the life force out of a human. So, two things that seem very similar, but they're different. The vampire drains you, the zombie infects you. There's a meme that's been going around on Facebook. I love throwing memes into messages. I don't know why. And the meme reminds us that your diet is more than just what you eat. It's everything. It's what you let get in your head. So what you watch on TV, what you read, the people you surround yourself with, it's everything. And that meme popped up this week. And it made me think more about vampires and zombies and Halloween. Have you connected the dots yet? I'm going to go on a limb and say no. So here we go. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. Become wise by walking with the wise. Hang out with fools and watch your life fall to pieces. So that's kind of an extreme scripture, but I want you to think about it. Have you ever had people in your life, in your inner circle, in your group, your core, whatever you call them, your root family? Has there ever been a person that you've been close to who just drains you? You're around them for however long you're around them, and when you get away from them, the only thing you want to do is go to sleep. You're exhausted. You have nothing left for anything or anybody. You are done. Have you ever had people like that in your world? They don't really have to be in your inner circle. But have you known those kinds of people? People who just exhaust you because you get around them and it's just need. Give me attention, give me attention, give me attention. And so then when it's over, at least if you're like me, when it's over, you want your recliner and you want to put your feet up and you want silence. Because you're exhausted after interacting with them. Those are the vampires. See, last week we talked about let's be the kind of people who lift one another up. Vampires have a hard time lifting up because vampires take and take and take and take. They drain you. Thus, life falls to pieces. Then there's another one. Proverbs 22, verses 24 through 25. Don't hang out with angry people. Don't keep company with hotheads. Bad temper is contagious. Don't get infected. That's the zombies. You hang around people and they're negative. And the more time you spend with them, the more you find that you're kind of negative too. I have one person in my family that when I'm around them, when I come away from them, Sherry can tell that I've been with them. And I can tell because nothing is good enough. Nothing can be good enough. Everything sucks. Because they infected me. And it doesn't have to be just negative people. It can be all kinds of different things. Like when you hang out with someone and all they ever talk about is how much they hate one person or one thing. And you probably have no issues with that one person or that one thing. You don't really care. You're indifferent. And the more they talk about how much they can't stand it, they can't stand the person, they can't stand the thing, how much it gets on their nerves, and the more they go on and on and on about it, you become infected. And you end up, when you see the person or the thing, you're like, I don't want none of that. It's kind of like my niece. When she was little, she heard my mom say that a certain food was yucky. Now, nobody was paying attention to the fact that the kid was in the room. Mama just said, no, I'm not going to eat that. That's gross. She was making a statement for herself. My niece heard it, but nobody realized it. Nobody paid any attention to it. We all get to the table, we sit down, and they put the food on her plate. And the niece says, I'm not eating that. It's gross. She had been infected by what she heard her mom, what she heard my mom say. She had been infected by my mother's belief. Keep that part. She had been infected by my mom's mindset. You see where I'm going with this? We have people in our world. We have people in our lives. And sometimes we fail to remember that we're supposed to be careful. Another Proverbs scripture. Proverbs 12:26. The right choose their friends carefully. And sometimes I think we don't really give much thought to our friends. We're just happy that there are people that kind of like us and want to hang out with us, and we don't really concentrate on, is this a good match or is this a bad match? We don't really think about it. We're just happy to have people. And I'm not saying that all of your people are bad. I'm not saying that all my people are bad. I'm just saying, when have you really sat down and thought about, oh, am I really going to let so-and-so be my friend? I can honestly tell you, I don't remember doing it. I don't remember watching who comes in and out of my life and thinking about, okay, are they going to be a good influence or a bad influence? Or an indifferent influence? Because they're somewhere just in the middle. I can't remember really thinking about it much. Until, well, I'm 47 now, so it's been 2 or 3 years. I've been more aware of when people enter my life, of what they bring, of what they provide, and of what they take. I've been trying to be more aware of who I give all of my time to, so that I can try to balance it out. Because let's be honest, if we go with current canon on zombies, zombies are created, right? Some bad thing happens and this virus gets unleashed and poof, there are zombies. Zombies are created. I think the people who fall into the zombie category, the people who infect us, they're also made by all of the belief systems and mindsets and prejudices that they were exposed to, and that they didn't know they should be questioning or blocking. And so the things they were exposed to, the belief systems, the mindsets, the prejudices, all of those things help inject them and create them. Because your diet is more than what you eat. See, Halloween started ages and ages and ages ago. And what we see it as now is not necessarily how it began. And in different places, it was a different thing. It was a different festival. It was a different celebration. Ireland and Scotland, their celebrations way back in the day, 1800s, were tied to harvests. There were pagan festivals. Then Christianity and the rising of the church Christianity also begins to have festivals and rituals built around these days. Halloween, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day. And so now Halloween isn't a bad thing. Halloween's a good thing. And in the Roman Catholic Church, it's really good. Tomorrow, November 1st, will be a big day for the Catholic Church. Services galore. People will go and they will say Mass and they will light candles in memory of all of the people who have passed. But think back to how I started this. I have issues surrounding church and Halloween together because of the experience I had. First, Halloween wasn't a big deal. Then a new preacher comes and, oh God, Halloween's a horrible thing. Your kids shouldn't be doing it. That ain't nothing but the devil's work. All of that. And while some people were able to question those things, others were not. And so I guess one of the things I want to be sure to say today is that when you're paying attention, it's also paying attention to that kind of stuff. See, history is a beautiful thing. Because history, if you really read it, if you really pay attention to it, shows you the full picture. So, Halloween, pagan festival that became a Christian festival. How many people remember that? You probably don't if you grew up in this area because it's not really talked about. So when people say things like, oh, this is a Christian thing, this is a white people thing, this is a black people thing, this is all of the people who live, in Alaska thing. When people start shaping things and claiming them for only specific groups of people, history, when you really look at it and read it and study it, has the ability to go, no. See, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and now we're here. Zombies are made. Zombies are made, and zombies in the movies, except for the one that I'm thinking of called Warm Bodies, zombies usually can't turn back. They can't become humanized. See, Harley's getting started. She wants to help because she wants to catch a zombie knowing her. So the zombies are made and they can't turn back. They can't become human again. But in real life, when I'm using zombie as just a fun way to talk about how we need to be careful about the things that we let into our world, the things that we let infect us. Yes, Harley, I know. You a good preacher. Just hang on. I got a point. I'm almost done. Sorry, y'all. So zombies are made and they can't go back to being human. But when I'm using zombie as a term just to talk about how we need to be more aware of what we let inject us, infect us, drain us, we can change back or for the better. We don't have to stay infected. We can choose to seek out the truth. We can choose to believe that we can surround ourselves with good people who will support us, who will lift us up, who will help us be the best version of us we can be. We can walk away from being zombie-like and be fully aware. So if anything, what I'm trying to say today is that we must be careful. We must be careful in what we allow to become our focus. We have to be careful with the people we surround ourselves with because bad company corrupts good character. That's in 1 Corinthians. And you want to be people who lift people up, which means you also need to be able to identify the people who are going to drain you, vampires, and the people who will infect you, zombies, so that you can have a strategy, a plan, and a way of balancing. And there's hope. There's always hope. Romans chapter 15, verse 13. May the God of green hope, this is the Message version, may the God of green hope fill you up with joy, fill you up with peace, so that you will be brimming with hope. That means be full up of hope. And by the way, if you do ever find yourself surrounded by zombies, the best advice I can give you is this. Do not be the slowest one in your group. You need to be a little bit faster than the slowest person you're with, and then you won't be zombie bait. Thank you for letting me do something fun and different on this day. I hope I didn't offend anybody. It is important to be aware of the people and the places and the things that can drain you and infect you, so that you can identify them and have a plan for being balanced and full of hope. I hope you have a great week. If you're celebrating Halloween today with kids, I hope y'all have a good time. See you next time. Love you.